Hi there, it's Carolyn from Source Design. Today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to optimize the images for your website. Now, you might not be too concerned about the size of images you're uploading because they upload fine, right? But let's look at that for a second. Large files are slow to load. They need more bandwidth and storage space on your web hosting server, and most importantly, they infuriate impatient website visitors, especially on mobile devices and especially if that 4 megabyte image is chewing up their data plan. So we'll crunch those images down to the smallest file size we can while still retaining the image quality. You want to aim for less than 100 kilobytes per image. Photoshop's probably the best tool to compress images, but many of you don't have access to Photoshop, so this is a nice, simple alternative method. We're going to use JPEG Mini, image compressing software that you can download from their website. There's a free trial version, but you can buy the full version for less than $30 Australian at the time of recording this screencast. So it's pretty affordable and nice and easy to use. Okay, so I have here a folder of images ready to go. It's a good idea to create a new folder and call it optimized, maybe with a date or some other way to categorize it, and save the completed images there so you can find them easily later. Here's my optimized image folder. Back in my original folder I have some images. You can see their file sizes here and they are all far too big to upload to a website. One's over 300 kilobytes, one's a whopping great 8 megabytes, one is 4 meg and one is 1.4 meg. If you hover over the file you can see the pixel dimensions. This is the actual size of the image. This one is well over 4000 by 3000 pixels. This is huge. So we need to compress them. Let's start with one image. First we'll set up our resize settings. Click on the gear icon in the top left hand corner of JPEG Mini and then select Preferences. Select Export to Folder. Click Set and browse to the optimized folder that you made earlier and select that. I've already set the folder as you can see here. Now make sure that the Resize Photos option is checked. There's some options in the drop down here on how you want to resize. We'll use maximum width. Let's make it 700 for now. This is pixels, by the way. You'll have instructions for what your maximum width should be depending on your website, so you can enter that value. Now hit Apply. Then we click and drag the image we want over onto the JPEG Mini screen and drop it there. Done. You get some information in the JPEG Mini screen about how many times smaller the image is, but what you really want to see is the new file size. So back in the optimized folder, let's check. Now it's a much better file size for web. You can see it's only 47 kilobytes. Great. So what if you want to compress a whole lot of images at once? It's the same process. Let's check our settings. This time we'll use the Export to Folder button. It brings up the same menu. Make sure Resize Photos is checked. Use the maximum width setting and we'll use 700 pixels again. And check that the folder we're exporting to is the one you want here. Now you go back outside your folder of original images and you drag that whole folder over onto the JPEG Mini screen. And you're done. Go to the optimized folder and check the file sizes. Much better. There's just one that's still too large, and that's because this is a vertical image. So yes, it's 700 pixels wide, but it's still taller than 700 pixels high. So that's something to think about. When you set up your image folders, you might separate all of the horizontal and vertical images first, and then you can optimize your vertical images at a smaller maximum width to get them under 100 kilobytes. You might have to play around with the maximum width setting until you find a size that works. One final thing to think about is the image file names. If you look at these file names, none of them are very descriptive. There's the numbers that are spat out of the camera or your phone, and then one called cover design feature. Doesn't mean much to a search engine, or to a person for that matter. Much better to rename your image files to something much more descriptive. Let's rename this one to Book and Publication Covers by Source Design. You should rename all of your images so that they have great descriptive file names. It really helps with SEO, and it gives people searching for a particular image another way to find your site. And there you have it. Now you're ready to upload your images to your website.